And coming to you live from Hajima Reno, I am your host, Yaku of the Zaku. With me today, I have La Reina de los Asiáticos himself, Light VIP. How we doing, Light?
Hey, finally, after after all these issues with the bracket, we are here, we are live, and it is our first time casting one of these ESL Open Cups.
Yes, indeed it is. And boy, what a bracket we got here for you.
Yeah, it's pretty big. It's a lot of players. And there's a lot of casters as well, so it's gonna be something.
Exactly. Coincidentally, it is also the International Women's Day edition of ESL Pro Tour Asia. So put that in your pipe and smoke it. We're gonna jump in straight away into our first round. It's gonna be a PvZ between Quantel, Indonesian player, and JimRising, of all people.
Yeah. Just intro them for the intro. Yeah, it's good.
Exactly. No, you gotta say who you're gonna do before you do the intro or something like that.
It was on screen as well. So
all right. There we go. All right. In the bottom right-hand corner map, spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Ephemeron LE, we have the Blues representing Macaco, as well as the island, no, it's not really an island, nation of Mexico. We have, you know him by Trafalgar Law, we know him as JimRising.
And in the top left-hand corner of Ephemeron LE, we have the Protoss player representing Indonesia. It is Quantel.
Currently known as Agyo.
Agyo. Yeah, don't you just love it when players have alternate IDs on?
Yeah, it's great.
This is great.
That way you can never, they're off the hook. Hook? No, what do you mean? What am I? Off the grid, that's what I mean.
Okay. Fair enough. So a little bit of backstory. Quantel, he's probably the best player in Indonesia. He represented Indonesia in the SEA Games as well at the end of last year. And
well, there we go.
Yeah. Fun fact: he was actually signed up to play in GPO the other day. Oh my god.
That's a lot of drones.
It gets spotted by the Pro.
And it does get spotted. This is an all-in if I've ever saw one from JimRising. How is Agyo going to respond? He does already have his wall, but only going to be able to get his Zealot out, and that's not at all what you want versus Slings.
Important to note that before this started, oh god, the Zealot gets surrounded. That's not a good start. Immediately goes down. And JimRising, he didn't really know who Quantel was, and he's like, oh, he's just like a diamond Protoss. Okay, so he was kind of.
I guess I'll.
Yeah.
That's a bit of a cocky maneuver if I've ever seen one, but it does seem to be working out in his favor for the time being. The Adepts are going to be out. However, I do definitely think JimRising has more than enough firepower here.
Ooh, but he gets to get on the left side of the world, so they can just go ham on these drones. Like, yeah,
they can. The shield batteries are not out yet, but 2 gateways already going down. That was actually, you know what? It was a pretty costly hold, but it was a hold nonetheless.
Yeah, and he cancels his building just in time, so it's not a complete wall off. He doesn't have to destroy anything to get out of his base. And JimRising
has to go all the way back home.
He's like,
literally just a handful of probes here. It's like, this could be a macro game.
Yeah, it's not gonna end. He was like kind of disrespecting his opponent, being like, "Yo, this is just some random diamond player. I'ma just ling rush it. I'm just drone pull him."
And now he's just insanely behind.
Yeah, as you said, like Quantel, he just lost 2 gateways, and that's it. Oh, and a Zealot, really. Oh, but
it's fairly costly. This wall is open. This wall is not open. Quantel just missed the situation a little bit. The Adepts are on the other side of the map. There is no warp gate here, and now he's forced to pull every single one of these probes. The shield battery will keep them alive.
Is there anything at home to defend though for Jim?
Single stalker. Anything at home for Jim? No. There's a queen.
There's a queen?
There's a queen. 3 adepts though are starting to bleed out these drones, but not gonna get too much done. Shade does go out, and a single queen. You know, queens are good, but when it's just queen, they can take out an adept.
Yeah, but at what cost? 5 drones go down, 6 drones go down, maybe a 7th. He's trying to edge one.
Might actually get this queen. Okay, not quite. Yeah, he's focusing on the drones. He knows he has to do the economic damage. Yeah. And overall, decent damage done from the side of Aegyo.
Yeah, again.
Not sure if I mean 3 adepts are a little costly, but you take whatever damage you can get, right?
Yeah, 3 adepts for a bunch of drones, like that's what you want.
High.
But
yeah, it's just putting JimRising even further behind than he already was.
You say behind, I feel like things are gonna start to even out, maybe. But more and more adepts are being sent across the map, and I don't know, like Jim, he's not gonna have much to defend. It's all gonna be about how they get positioned, really, because there are 10 lings on the way, so this could get surrounded. But if they get like really good positions behind the mineral line, like he could potentially do everything.
Is trying to maybe target down this queen, and if he's careful with his micro, he should be able to get it too. Does not want to lose a single adept to this. Does not commit to the shade,
yeah.
Which was the right call. The wood of circling swinging there, and now once again behind the mineral line.
Exactly. Yeah, this is it. Like
really dang good position.
He's so efficient.
All right,
with
not
these
so
adepts.
much when there's He might get one more. Nice. Does actually get one more drone for his trouble, and with that, JimRising is gonna make more drones.
Yeah, I mean, he has to, right? He's lost so many already. He has to catch up and then some. And meanwhile, Quantel, he's kind of has the freedom to play normally. You know, he can get out his War Prism, he can apply more pressure, throw down more gateways. But you know, JimRising, he's a good player in and of himself. Like, he comes in, he scouts what exactly is going on, so he can try and prepare for it. And we do have a Roach Warren on the way.
That there is. I was a little bit surprised that Aegyo is not really teching up very aggressively, but now that I look at the income, it's actually not that in the favor of Aegyo. He did have, I think he wanted to expand, but then he realized that's a lot of lings. I cannot risk being too greedy.
Yeah. I think the one thing that Quantel is
are
like,
even out.
Yeah, I think the one thing he's really missing is production. I feel like he could do with some more gateways. And as I say that, he does throw 5 down. Oh my god. So we're going to see a big 2-base push coming out.
And it is coming down. While they are even on bases, Aegyo was probing up like insanely highly. Now he's fully walling off. I think we might see a 2-base all-in coming out from Aegyo very, very soon. Like.
Yep. Yeah, and I don't blame him. Like, he's completely walling off as well, so, you know, he's going to be committing to this attack, and he's, you know, he does have recall available to him, so that can happen as well, but 2 immortals now. But
behind his wall, I just realized JimRising is only now finishing his link speed.
He will have
so that happens when you pull all the boys.
Yeah, just in time for this push. So he does have that going for him. He does have a couple of Roaches, a couple of Ravagers, not too many. So potentially he can deal with the force fields, but 2 immortals. Oof, this is gonna be a tough hold.
It is. Yep, there is no charge and no blink. However, there is enough of a buffer, and as you said, these immortals are really the money units. GG. There we go. JimRising realizes he cannot fight that.
GG, JimRising kind of, you know, eating his foot there with like the disrespect in the beginning of the game, and then the consequences of that. Oof.
That is just pretty oof, yeah. And that's why if you don't know anything about your opponent, you play straight up generally.
Unless you're JimRising.
Unless you're JimRising, in which case you end up having to lose. All right, Simulacrum is going to be our next map.
That it is. Also, you know, if you do want to catch this match in a different language, you do have a Spanish caster with us as well. So, yeah, got some Duolingo going on.
Aquario coming up in here.
Yeah.
You also cast for Battle of the Americas, if I'm not wrong?
Enki cast Battle of the Americas. I don't know if this is Enki's account on Korea. letting them know.
Oh, nice. You replied, so I didn't have to.
Oh, good.
It is why I keep you around. Actually, it's the other way around. As we load in to run with the Simulac. And speaking of which, here we have it in the top left-hand corner map, spawning in the top left-hand corner of Simulac Rum L.E. Yar Har Fiddly D. We have the player in the top left-hand corner of the map, all the way from the land of the Mexica. He is playing for Team Macaco, being a little bit cocky in that last game and ending up having to eat his own foot or something like that. How did he? Never mind. We have the Blues. He is just coming off of. Actually, did he play earlier today in Battle of the Americas?
He did not.
He did not. There we go. He woke up just for ESL. Exactly here we have it. The Blues. You know him as Trafalgar Law, but we know him as JimRising. And in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, I just forgot that you were introing.
In the bottom right-hand corner of Simulacrum LE, we have kind of the underdog in this series, the Protoss player from Indonesia, already up 1-0 in kind of an upset. You know, just you can't sleep on him, man. You can't disrespect him like that. As you can see, he is Quantel.
Or Ego Targaryen. Or is that a Blackfire name? Could be either or.
Could be. But yeah, Quantel, you know, he's one of those players who I've been keeping an eye on, specifically for GPO.
Right? You've been targeting your ads directly at him.
Exactly. Unfortunately, he has yet to play in it, to participate. But, you know, we do have him here competing, and I did want to try and catch him and see, you know, how he plays and what his style is like, and how he does, especially up against JimRising, who he's not quite a pro, but he's still, you know, he's still a GM, you know, he's still, you know, on the level of, say, someone like M. Canning or something, like someone more like a personality streamer.
Well, he's being paid money to play on stream.
I guess so. Sure. Speaking of, thank you, James, in the chat. JimRising is streaming his own POV.
There's another one.
His own perspective. There is another James.
James.
There's a bit of a
thank
here.
you, James.
Yeah. So
you know quite a few people by the name of James.
If you do want to multi-Twitch, that is available as well. We've got Jim POV, we've got Spanish casters. Ooh, we do have Jim's Overlord coming in here.
Yep, he does actually see this. Does he see that it's an Oracle being made? He should. Yeah. Oracle is like the one unit from the Stargate that's, to me, it's kind of hard to make out while it's being built, but I guess that in itself is a bit of a tip-off. If you can't tell what it is, it's probably an Oracle.
Yeah, if it's not a Phoenix, you know it's like, yeah, it's probably an Oracle.
Yep. Can't be avoided, right? JimRising this time, definitely playing a lot more respectful to his opponent. He is going to go straight to macro, none of them drone pulls in the early game.
Yeah. So, you know, good scouting there by Jim. He did send in his Overlord. He does know exactly what is coming out and what he should be expecting. So he does already have those spores finishing up. He does have the queens. He should be completely fine against this. It's going to be on Quantel to try and...
I see this Oracle taking out like one drone, maybe two.
Oh.
Or even none. Wow. Already being chased away by the queens of JimRising.
Yeah. Kind of a rough start for Quantel.
Yeah, usually it's Trafalgar working for the queen. This time it's the other way around.
I don't think that's how the lore works for One Piece, but...
Yeah.
Sure. I don't think it's a queen.
They're all queens. It's International Women's Day. They're all queens.
Have you seen
They're all queens on International Women's Day. Have you?
Yes.
I haven't.
God.
What a weep.
it's funny how we've got like the pinnacle weeb, I guess. We've got Trafalgar Law versus Aegyo. Like weeb versus
exactly.
Korean, like
wait, what is Aegyo from?
It's Korean. It's cute in Korean.
Ah, I thought it was from Game of Thrones.
No. This isn't like Aegon Targaryen or something like that. No, that's not what this is.
I'm just imagining a Korean Game of Thrones now.
So,
JimRising, as you said, is definitely respecting his opponent a lot more now, getting that Roach Warren much quicker. But meanwhile, the air control, it's in the hands of Aegyo for the time being. There's actually nothing here to contest it from the side of JimRising. For the moment, that has to be said.
So Quantel, he will be able to clean up a couple of these overlords, which is quite nice. JimRising, he still hasn't, pulled them back. They're all still out there in the middle of the map, so they are a little bit vulnerable.
And the overlords are very exposed. Wait, I think you were saying that.
Yeah, no,
exposed,
vulnerable. It's all good. So, this is like quite a nice win for Quantel, as long as he finds the overlords. They're still kind of just chilling. There we go.
They are in this vision.
Yeah,
and there we go, another Overlord bites the dust. This is not too bad for JimRising. He does have quite a bit of supply that he's not taken up yet, so it's not like he's going to be supply capped anytime soon, but, it adds up.
Yeah.
This sort of thing. And the important thing, I suppose, is it takes away the vision that he has on the map. If all these Overlords get sniped, what is there? Not a lot of creep on the map and about 2 Zerglings. That's not exactly a lot of map vision if you are a Zerg player.
I mean, he does have the links there in case a move out does happen, so he will be alerted. But, we do have Jim.
It does look like it's happening pretty soon.
Yeah, we do have Jim kind of chilling. He does have a 4th base now. He is, getting his Roach speed. He's backing up quite a large number of Roaches for this big push. He doesn't have much anti-air, but I don't think it really matters. Like, it's not like Quantel went for mass Phoenixes or anything like that. You can even argue that
and if we actually look at... Yeah,
he's kind of wasting his oracles. Like, they could be out there, like, tagging things or trying to deal some damage. And, the hallucinations spot this.
That they do, and there's a massive warping coming in here. Does actually keep his Archon alive. Jim is trying to posture around. Once again, his oracles take out the Ravagers.
Yeah, they totally could focus on the Ravagers.
But they're trying to get some of those stats wards, but not quite getting it. The force fields are huge though, and this stasis ward is absolutely huge, taking out all of the Ravagers. These force fields are going to go uncontested, and Quantel, with his +1, with his Archons, he is going to be chasing this back. Nicely done from a purple Protoss player.
He needs to be careful though, because he's being a little bit ambitious, doing this without any...
He is overextending a little bit. He immediately lost his... He did already lose his Archon, and there is this force of Zerglings. Zerglings though, Roaches, up in the north side. They are going to be dealt with very quickly, but it's actually going to be chased away. Aegyo did not lose too much to this, but he did lose the Archon.
Yeah,
but Jim is putting the pedal on the, he's putting his foot on the pedal, so to speak. Going straight out on his Roaches. The flanks are decent on the side of Quantel.
With this main army, but there is just no buffer. Like, there's a couple of zones being warped in. It's all
well, there is Warp Prism, and it is doing fantastically well. Jim, I think, tunnel vision a little bit, trying to target down the Immortal, but getting shelled on every side by the other units, especially the Oracles. I did not expect the Oracles to do much, but they did enough damage that they softened up the Roaches.
We have Burrow being revealed. He doesn't have Burrow movement quite yet. It is still on the way, so we can't quite use them to harass, but he can.
Where's the Observer? And these Oracles! They're out of energy. They cannot reveal the... This is actually looking very dangerous if you are Aegyo. Or if you are an Aegyo fan. Aegyo, man, I thought he was building up to have a very powerful push with his Immortals and his Archons, but Trafalgar, or Jim rather, taking a bit of a preemptive strike. And that is the only Robo-Bay of JimRising, Aegyo for the time being. Quantel or Aegyo is trying to come in to stop these Roaches, but the Drop Lords are in, and they are full of Roaches coming into the main. I think we're about to see a tight series very quickly. Quick recall, but it does expose the natural of Quantel, and once again, all of these gateways so unpowered. I don't see this working out. Once again, no energy oracles, no observers. These roaches are just gonna get out of here with their lives.
The robot did get taken out, so now there are no more overseers.
And another strike in the north is just looking more and more dangerous if you are Quantel. 2 war prisons, but no observers.
Yeah, and right now he's just being pulled apart. He's being hit in the main, he's being hit at the third. There are roaches coming to the natural as well, and he just doesn't have enough units to defend each side.
This is not looking up at all. The defenses the defensive advantage from JimRising just being completely denied. Warping gonna be denied once again. Man, oh man. And meanwhile, if you look at JimRising's bases, he is set. He's got his hive, getting his Greater Spire. He's already comfortable in 4th base economy. And the Nexus of Aegyo is going to be taken out by roaches. Like, JimRising is going into Greater Spire. He doesn't even need it, honestly. Just go full on Sue and just get nothing but roaches. He can still win this game.
Yeah, I mean, he does have +3 on the way for his roaches, and it all comes down to the vision, really, because he doesn't have a robot for observers. He has very limited energy with his oracles to reveal, and
this makes my heart hurt. Like,
yeah, these roaches, they just go uncontested.
But these roaches are being taken out. Oh wait, but there are more roaches. Yeah. This is what happens. Quantel, he's fighting in there. He knows he has an army that can't contest this, so he doesn't want to leave while he has a fighting shot. But as more and more time goes on, it's this fighting chance that he had is not looking up.
Yeah, and it all kind of came down to his robot being in kind of an exposed position. It immediately got sniped, and after that, that kind of sealed his fate. If it was a little bit more protected, maybe he could have chronoed out an observer, and maybe things would have been different.
A couple of drones. He's Archon, so vulnerable and so sniped. Meanwhile, I think there was a Zealot run by, and it did manage to take out 16 drones. But remember, this was a Zerg player who was on a comfortable 4-base economy, whilst Aegyo was bleeding out his 3rd base economy. Even more probes are being taken out from a purple Protoss player. Things are not looking up. I think very, very shortly we're going to see Quantel having to go all in.
Yeah, I mean, he's just getting ready for one last push. He did finally get a robot up in his natural, and he's trying to pump out another Immortal. And with that, I can't imagine him doing much else. I imagine he's going to try and push out and do something, but especially with Broodlords on the way, like he's already morphing a couple, it's like that's going to be the nail in the coffin.
That's big oof.
Yeah.
If I've ever seen one.
That it is. There's a Phoenix, you know, maybe that one Phoenix can come in and kill all the Broodlords.
Ooh, yeah! It'll like come in from the side and it'll pull all the Broodlords away, and it can't focus on the ground army, and then, actually he doesn't have Blink. Never mind. There are a lot of Archons, and they can try to take out the Brootlings before they can do major damage, especially when they're clumped up, but as we know, the damage from Brootlings, they do add up, they do stack. And Aegyo is all in at this point. He's got to make this count, and I'm not convinced that he's going to be able to. Okay, he is distracting JimRising.
Yeah, this is his last push coming across the map. He does engage the roaches, which he can fight. It's just the Broodlords that are going to be the problem.
Well, Aegyo is taking a page off of JimRising's book. He is distracting him. Ooh, you not want to have those Archons in the front. Definitely would rather have these Stalkers as buffer. And here come the Broodlords. The Broodlords are coming in light. What's gonna happen? These Archons are so bruised. Does jump on top of a couple that are morphing. And he should be able to jump straight on top of these Broodlords as well. Immediately gets bopped off by the DPS of the Archons. But the Archons are gone. He's ignored the roaches for too long. JimRising coming in from a flank. The Stasis Ward not gonna be enough. GG is called. And JimRising is going to tie up that series sideways 1-1.
Nicely done by JimRising, and you know, well played by Quantel. It was kind of like this sneaky like burrow that kind of caught him off guard and really tore him apart towards the end. Like he was doing fairly well against the roaches on their own, even, you know, trying to defend his 3rd and then recall into his main as well. Like he was doing okay, but ultimately just it wasn't enough.
It definitely was not. was actually a really good tactical move from JimRising, as we saw, Quantel was building up a very potent 3-base push timing attack, but JimRising coming in with a preemptive strike and on every angle, or not every angle, rather from the north and the south, just did not allow Quantel to build up that push. And you see, like, you want to get the push, because when you go for the push, you have the potency.
I will also say that when it comes to Quantel's opening, his Stargate opening, he didn't really do much with his oracles.
Right.
And because of that, because they were kind of hockey together with the Phoenix, he didn't see the roaches until they were already like in his face. And you know, to be fair, they did manage to do well in the fight. I feel like he could have done some more with them.
For sure. I'm trying to think, well, if he used them earlier, he wouldn't be using them for the fight. But then again, if he used them earlier, he probably wouldn't need to use them for the fight.
Yeah, it's kind of depends, right? Like, if he manages to use them to, like, get worker kills and, like, keep the army back and hurt his economy, then, you know, the push isn't as strong, right? And maybe he's able to scout, like, certain things like Borrow.
Yeah, for sure. By the way, Control-Shift-3, like...
Oh, right, for the best of 3. Yeah.
And speaking of best of 3s, here we have it, the third game in the best of 3. That means we are on the ace match, coming in hot. Oh, whoever wins this, going forward. Whoever loses this, you're out like the gout. In the top left-hand corner map, spawning in the top left-hand corner of Nightshade LE, otherwise known as a Belladonna. And I want you to know, like, I was doing the hand gestures while I said that. We have the Yakuzaku, the weeb himself, the pirate of One Piece. One Piece is a pirate show, right?
Yeah,
sure, it's got like pirates and stuff. Yeah! Oh, look, all I know is Monkey, he can stretch. In the top left-hand corner map, spawning in the top left-hand corner of... No, wait, I already said that. The Yakuzaku, disrespecting his opponent and paying the price for it, but coming back by treating his opponent with respect. See, that's the key to life. You gotta keep him with respect, you know, tip the fedora. We have the Yakuzaku representing Team Macaco all the way from the land of Mexico. We have, you know him as Trafalgar Law. I just hit my mic, I do apologize. But we know him as JimRising.
Spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Nightshade LE, we have a player who's kind of cheesing, you know, kind of bringing it back to game number 1 with a Forge first. We have the Protoss player, there it is, representing Indonesia, it is Quantel.
And Light, I gotta tell you, I was a little disappointed in SEA Games when I saw that the Indonesian representative wasn't, you know, on the level as someone like a Whiskor and Ender. But I gotta tell you, Light, my Indonesian heart is looking proud here with Quantel. Oh. Look at that. He's not even wasting anything on misplaced cannons. He just wants to make sure that he's using as little resources as possible in order to contain his opponent, and he goes straight into that robo.
Yeah, as you said, this isn't just a cannon rush, he's also proxying his buildings across the map as well, and I don't think JimRising has actually seen the proxy robo, so it's possible that he just thinks that it's, you know, it's just a cannon rush.
He has.
There we go, so now he knows.
I think with his Overlord, question mark? Yeah, and JimRising is starting to prepare for that. He did get his second base over in the third base location. So if he does come in with a flank of Ravagers, it's looking tough for Quantel, but it's looking tough for JimRising at the time being. Look at this, cannon in the third. Beautiful.
Yeah, I don't... there are no
spines
so far. Just,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's just roaches that I imagine are going to be turned into Ravagers as well, so he could potentially buy
watch your rally, Jim.
There it is.
Does turn around very quickly. I don't think 2 Ravagers is going to be enough, though, Light. I highly doubt this. Quantel is being very conservative with the amount of cannons. He wants to focus mostly on his robo push. And look at that, the Wolfism is coming in.
I actually really like this, that Quantel, he's being very aggressive with his immortal. He's pushing up, and he can do this because of the shield batteries. He can go in and potentially snipe a queen, potentially snipe some Ravagers as well.
He does not want to allow, he does not want to allow JimRising to get that firepower count. He does not want to let him get the Ravager count up. He is being a little bit risky here. Does try to keep his immortal alive, but does lose. Well, losing a shield battery ain't the end of the world.
Yeah, it's all about Quantel's micro right now, and it's something that, you know, he can showcase now to, like, I mean, the greater international audience, right? Like, how can he do against a player like JimRising? And it's looking kind of rough. There's a lot of queens, a lot of Ravagers.
Yep, the primary goal of Aegyo with this immortal aggression was to prevent JimRising from getting this Ravager count, but now he does have it up. And there are a lot of shield batteries, but you're running out of energy very, very rapidly. And Immortals, they are not the unit that you want versus Ravagers. The cannon is providing a bit of firepower, though. Yeah, the cannon in the back actually providing a bit of firepower. And now the warp system was not quick enough. Jim, though, he's looking to go across the map. Or at least evaluate if he can.
Yeah, a third immortal.
Here's one shield battery that has... Yep, here's one shield battery that does have energy. Quantel is looking to use it. But now map control, it's pretty far in the favor of JimRising. There is a full wall off here from Aegyo. But yeah, I'm just I would like to get into the heads of these players and just think, what is the game plan?
He tricked Quantel. Quantel, he was going back home with the Warp Prism because he thought the Ravagers were going home. Actually thought they were going across the map, and now he's forced to turn back around, so they weren't here to...
He does manage to do it. This Immortal is already come. Corner does manage to pick it up very, very quickly. Nicely done from an Indonesian Protoss player. But again, ain't gonna be quite enough, is it?
I mean,
that being said, like, JimRising is on one base.
Yeah, 3 Immortals with a Warp Prism, he could totally beat this army. It all comes down to making sure he saves the Warp Prism from the queens. As they are
that he does need to be careful on. He does retreat back to the shield battery range very, very quickly in order to recuperate. And again, this Contain is still holding, but Jim, he's building up his army count, and Aegyo can do nothing about it. Is focusing the Warp Prism. One Immortal. No, the Immortal's still alive. One Immortal does go down eventually at the cost of a single queen, but that's a trait that's just so far in the favor of JimRising. Does have another Immortal up now. Man, I can't really blame Quantel for being aggressive right now. He has to be aggressive, but at the same time, I feel like he's kind of overextending a little bit.
You say that, but he has to. Like, he's kind of, you know, both players are kind of all in, both on one base. He kind of has to end the game, and...
Alright, control.
Yeah, he
control.
If he just kills a couple of these queens, one major down.
Whose micro is better? The Warp Prism or the Queen Transfuse? And right now, it's looking like the Queen Transfuse. Dodging all of these vials, though. And that's 4 Immortals. 3 Immortals, that was kind of tough. But 4? With this Warp Prism support?
This could snowball, actually.
As long as...
5 Immortals.
Yeah, I think Aegyo actually won! Stupid fingerprint sensor.
Where's the button?
And like that, the fires, the flames, and the spices of Indonesia goes on. Very nicely done from a Protoss player. Probably one of the biggest upsets if you were looking at this bracket. Man, oh man.
Mate, Jim must be kicking himself. Like,
like why did I underestimate him?
If he didn't play out that first game the way he did with the drone pool, like, this could have been a complete... He could have won. Like if he played everything straight up, but...
He could have won pretty easily, yeah.
God.
Wow. Man, oh man. Did I ever tell you, like, my grandparents immigrated from Indonesia to Singapore?
Ah.
Yeah.
Do I identify with Quantel? Is that what you're saying?
Well, no, because he hasn't left yet.
Okay.
I like how I say he hasn't left yet. Like, yeah, He's gonna come here pretty soon.
So it looks like Quantel will be moving on into the round of 16 to face Creator, I imagine.
Ooh, that is gonna look. It's Pro versus Creator. The bracket is not updated quite yet on the ESL site. I should probably be looking at Wikipedia, shouldn't I?
Wikipedia is based off of the site, the ESL site.
Ah.
Yeah. So it looks like.
But yeah, we're gonna go into a PvP regardless, it seems.
Yeah, it kind of depends. It depends on what is available, right? Like there are kind of matches happening everywhere right now, and we're trying to find what we can. It also doesn't look like the ESL site has been updated properly. I'm not too sure.
Seems to be the case. At any rate, I imagine Pro is not facing Creator. Wow, never mind. But yeah,
exactly,
actually, yeah. JimRising goes into Creator. So I suppose we'll follow them then.
Quantel, you mean?
Quantel, yep.
Yeah. As ESL Cups are quite brutal in that there is no lower bracket. It's single limb, just straight up. If you're out, you're out. Like, that's kind of it, So we do say goodbye to JimRising. Well fought, underestimating his opponent and kind of ultimately being his own downfall. And Quantel, with the upset, moving on to potentially face Creator.
It looks like he's gonna have to, just looking at Wikipedia. Creator gets a walkover in the first round, moves on to face the winner of JimRising versus Quantel.
Ah, okay. Yep. So yeah, that means that's what we're gonna be casting. Once they finish up their vetoes, hopefully we can get into a PvP.